Hey guys, welcome back to Tools with Tim. This time you can see we're in a different setting, and I'd like to take you inside of my work vehicle here and show you some of the emergency gear that I keep in here and give you a tour of my get home bag that I've been teasing in other videos. You can see, accessible from the door, I always make sure to keep a heavy duty set of boots, something I can walk through the wet conditions and snow in, and a nice pair of wool socks, especially for the fall and winter. I've recently transitioned some of this stuff over to what I would carry in the fall and winter instead of the summer. Not completely done with that yet. I also keep just a small gas can right there. That way I can grab it from the driver's seat and take it with me. If you hear animals in the background, don't be alarmed. We have a few around here. And then right here under my driver's side seat, let's call it in here, I have a 50-foot Kevlar tow rope, basically, that I put different ends on. I've used this thing to pull stuff. I think it has like 1,000-pound or 2,000-pound tow rating, I can't remember, or pull rating. For the price and just the small weight and small package of this, you can't beat it. And it's very hard to get it to fray. Compared to steel line, it won't leave splinters in your hand. So this is really nice to have in your vehicle. I also have a regular tow strap for towing vehicles. I've had to even be towed out myself with previous vehicles. I would highly recommend keeping something like that in your vehicle. And then I also have shoved in the back seat pocket, because I work outside and sometimes we don't know what the conditions are going to be like. I have a pair of rain pants. I usually have a nice rain jacket kind of draped over my get home bag. Keeps it from being so visible, and I can grab it easily and put it on when I get out to work. So let me change the camera around and we'll get inside of this get home bag. Okay, now we can see my get home bag. I've been using this for about 4 or 5 years. I've stuck with LA Police gear for bags because they have some of the highest quality budget, tactical bags that you can get. I started off with their 3-day bag and ended up giving that to a friend. That was in black. Then when they switched to this new Atlas series, I went with Wolf Gray. I really like this bag series because it has the laser cut MOLLE on the outside so it doesn't stick out and protrude, can't catch on things, and it's a little bit more nondescript. Eventually I would like to go with more of a covert bag so that's not so obnoxious looking, but I really love the size of this bag and the features. I'll show a few of those. The first is they went with this yoke style strap. It's very comfortable. I looked it up, I think this is a 50-liter pack, give or take, which is pretty good size, and the way I have it loaded out, it's pretty comfortable. I wanted to go with a bag that had a waist strap to help keep the weight up on your hips, and these straps are so much better than the previous generation. Just a couple items on the outside. You can see I have the Black Scout Survival Tactical Light on my strap here. It has a sternum strap, obviously. And I also have a heavy-duty climbing carabiner in here. Sometimes I will actually click that into the seat belt loop of my vehicle. That way somebody couldn't just grab the bag and take off with it. Let's flip it around. You can see some of the outer compartments. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. We'll talk about this later. Up top, I have each compartment, especially on the outside, color coordinated. I use this VanQuest, I forget what they call them. They're just for like prepper organization. Red is for first aid. You can see I have a glow-in-the-dark VanQuest first aid pouch. I like this pocket for this purpose because it has just 2 organizational pockets in here. I have the LA Police Gear Pocket Trauma Pack. This is actually made by Adventure Medical Kits. You'll see some of their gear in here once we get inside the bag. And I did, just like my EDC bag, I printed off and laminated the contents of this so that somebody can easily see it. I have opened this up and then I put some Gorilla Tape on to seal it back up. And then next to that, I have one of the SWAT T tourniquets, just a giant rubber band. They're a nice slim option, fairly cheap, and seem to be pretty effective. I know a lot of rescue personnel that will even carry these and use them, and they kind of have, you know, multiple purposes, so that fits nicely in there. On the large bottom compartment, which I have marked orange for survival tools, this is where I keep my VanQuest FTIM organizer, my survival toolkit pouch, which I have a separate video on. It fits perfectly in there. I have a few other things. I have some, I think this is 1,000-pound rated paracord. I have some locking carabiners that you can, they're called figure 9s. You can cinch stuff down with them. They're really nice if you want to make a quick shelter and not have to tie a bunch of knots. Also in here, I have a homemade, it's a figure 8, like climbing, not a carabiner, but apparatus or whatever, that I turned into a slingshot. This could be used just to keep yourself busy, entertain yourself. If you wanted to get somebody's attention from a long distance away, you could probably use that. I like the size of this. I can even shoot arrows out of it, like I've converted one of my other slingshots as a sling bow. It's pretty effective, and like I said, it's a nice comfortable grip. I have some orange paracord on there just so I can see it easily if I drop it. Really important item, I do have a small weather radio. This is like a pocket size. You could even clip it in your pocket. I can't carry, you know, a large emergency radio in this kit. It's heavy enough as it is, and so that just clips right in one of the pockets. And then finally, I have this little pocket stove, just like a laser cut steel stove that you can use, you know, burn twigs and other debris in. A lot of the gear in here is more focused on wilderness survival. I try to have a good mix of that because for my work, often I travel long distances and I would be going through different types of terrain. There's other days that I work more locally, and hopefully this would be enough to just get me home. I work about 25 miles away from home. But like I said, I travel pretty often, and so a lot of the gear in here would be to help me to get through difficult terrain. And if I had to stop and make a small fire, at least I have that available. The only other thing I have in here, I just have a spare Leatherman pouch because I have my Leatherman Super Tool 300 in this kit, and I figured it would be nice to have a belt pouch at least. Let me zip this up and then we'll go into a few of the more outside pockets, and then we'll go in the main bag. One of my favorite features of this bag is on both sides it has these outside accessible, almost full-length pockets that protrude into the inside of the bag, but they allow you to keep things compartmentalized on each side. This side is marked for water, and I just have a glow-in-the-dark Nalgene. Let's see, I think I have some water purification tabs in here, and a few accessories for my Frontier Pro water filter that's in my toolkit there. And then I just have a stainless steel cup. You can tell I've used it just for boiling water. This is just a nice light option. There are plenty of other water filter options and Grail water bottles, but this is cheap and I'm familiar with this stuff. It works out nice for me. Let me set this off to the side. In the other side pocket, and it has these retention straps too, so you can cinch everything down. I have my survival knife, which is the Cold Steel SRK. Such a dependable knife. You can really beat on this thing. It's almost 1/4 of an inch thick steel. Super comfortable handle, and for the weight, you just can't beat it. One modification I did was flatten out the spine so you can strike a ferro rod. I really like the sheath system. It's really versatile. And what I have done is added a Maxpedition single pouch to this. It just loops right through the molly loop. I have a small ferro rod that slips through the side, and then inside the pouch I do have a little Bic lighter, sorry, a large size Bic lighter, and I keep one of the fine sharpening stones from my work sharp. What do you call it? It's not the pocket sharpener, but my work sharp sharpener that I keep in this pouch. I keep it in here just so you can tune your knife up. You know, you're not making any major repairs, but just to keep it tuned up in the field. And this is a nice light package. You can strap it to your belt, and I do have a little cordage on there so you can strap it to your leg. Hopefully you can see that okay. I've gone through a couple different knives in these type of bags, and I don't think I'll ever switch away from this one. I might have some complementary blades that I keep with me. Obviously you guys saw that I pulled this hatchet off the side. This is the Schrade SC Axe, such a dependable option. It's been around for years and years. This is the large version, which gives you a lot more leverage with the handle. It has a nice comfortable grip, a pommel on the back, and it's pretty sharp. It came pretty sharp from the factory. I sharpened it up a little bit. I've used it a good bit and abused it. Have a couple dings that I fixed. And it does have a ferro rod in the handle there, so you have an extra option. And for the summer, I usually carry more of a machete, but for the fall and winter, it's nice to have an axe. I made a matching wolf gray Kydex sheath that has a belt hook and a molly stick that you can attach at different options in here, or I can even attach it to a different bag if I need to. That takes care of most of my cutting tools. And there is one final pocket up here. It's kind of like a sunglass pocket. And in here, I just have a cheap set of goggles that seal to your face. It looks like one of the screws came loose, so I might have to change that out, but I'm sure I could rig it up. Eye protection is really important. That's all I have in that pocket. I always have sunglasses with me, but I feel like that's a better option. Keeps dust and stuff out of your eyes. And I don't think I have anything in this back pouch. Yeah, I do. I just have a map, local map, for the 3 or 4 states around us. Let's go ahead and get into the main pack now. Might have to put some of this back. These LA Police Gear bags are really well made for the price. I think I paid $40 for this thing when it first came out. This is the Atlas 24. They have, I don't think they're YKK, but really good heavy duty quality zips. They never get stuck, in my experience. I'm not going to unzip this all the way. I mostly have shelter items inside of the pack. It fills it up nicely and it makes it comfortable to carry. One of the primary things I keep in here is just an extra hat. There's days that I might not have one, or maybe it's really cold and I just wore a beanie. Excuse me, getting over being sick. I just wore a beanie and I can transition to a nondescript hat, doesn't have anything written on it. And then I have quite a few other shelter items in here, but one big item that I've started keeping in here is a large size dry bag. You know, it can fold up like this, doesn't take up a lot of space, but if I needed to, throw some of my extra clothing in here and cinch it up, or even take most of the contents of this bag and cinch it up in here. You know, if I was dealing with a lot of water or had to cross some water, you know, that's not an ideal situation, but I could keep things dry in here. One of the most important parts of my shelter kit is the SOL Escape Bivy. It's made by Adventure Medical Kits. I really like their gear. And this is just a small reflective, I'm pretty sure it's windproof bivy. It has that reflective material on the inside. You know, you could use this as a standalone shelter to keep your body temperature warm, but it's not going to be very comfortable. I have a lot of other items in here that would help with comfort. And also on top, easy to get to, I use this small waterproof pouch for my fire kit. I'm gonna have to talk over the chickens. Well, hopefully you guys can still hear me over that. This is just a small waterproof pouch that I keep my fire kit in. In addition to what I have with my survival tools there, I have some nice options in here. This is a small butane lighter. Oh, it looks like something leaked out in here. I have a pocket bellows for getting your fire started. I have a red bandana that has a lot of items wrapped up in here. See if I even remember what's in here. Yeah, I just have some tinder options in there. I do have a red Bic lighter that I have some paracord on. I have one of these zip fire starters. I have some small candles in here, some fat wood, just some nice options for making a quick, easy fire. Looks like I'm gonna have to clean some stuff off of there later. But these are all easy to use if you were wearing gloves and it was cold. A lot of these are one-handed fire starting options, which are nice to have. You know, this isn't just your basic kit. This could last you a really long time. Here's another large piece of my shelter kit. This is one of the Arcturus reflective heavy-duty tarps. It's in like that coyote brown, so it's not easily seen. These are really nice to have. They have grommets so you can tie them off. You can use this as a ground cover. You can put it up over yourself as a tarp. This will work really well with some of the other options I have in here. And I used to carry a system in here where I could sleep on the ground, but since I have back problems and I have a hard time getting comfortable, I thought I'd try out a hammock system. This is just a cheap hammock off Amazon. Seems to be really good quality. I have it in green to kind of go with some of the other components of this bag. This keeps me up off the ground. I have some other options in here to insulate me and hopefully have a little bit better night's sleep if I have to, or even string it up off the back of my truck to a tree. Ideally, I'd stay with my truck for as long as possible to have some supplies and some security and shelter. But, you know, if I need to get a more comfortable night's sleep, I have that option. And also in here, I have just a change of clothes, just some heavy-duty clothing that's kind of nondescript, flannel shirt, work pants, have a base layer, extra socks and underwear, a beanie. Always good to have a change of clothes with you, even if you don't have a get-home bag and you just want to build an emergency kit for your vehicle. Some of these items are going to be essential no matter what. Let me set this off to the side. Let's go to the next large component. I've taken a lot of inspiration from different people's videos, and this is a nice heavy-duty poncho, kind of a military style poncho. This works as not only shelter for my body, keep me out of the rain, keep my pack dry, but it also works with this Snug Pack poncho liner. It's a nice, kind of like a woobie style. It's meant where you can wear it on your body, underneath the poncho to keep warm. Of course, I always have a coat and I dress appropriately for the weather because I'm working out in it every day. But these also make a nice shelter. Gives you some comfort. It's kind of a nice alternative to a sleeping bag, a little bit more compact. And you can use the poncho as a small tarp for a shelter, have the reflective blanket underneath of you, and use this as a sleeping bag, and you can even use it with the bivy sack. Give yourself some extra warmth. This is a nice compact option. Snug Pack makes really good quality gear. I know the military uses a lot of their stuff, and I like how it all packs down together. I just always keep my eye out on deals on Amazon for this kind of gear. And you may have also seen that I have this Snug Pack. This was the very first product that I bought from them. This is their Elite, almost like a two-person sleeping bag. It's an extra large sleeping bag that you also has a zippered compartment that expands the sleeping bag if you need more room, or if you had, you know, somebody with you, or if you had kids, they could sleep in here. This is a 45-degree bag. It goes all the way down to 36 degrees, but with all the stuff that I have to complement something like this, you can get well below that. I probably will transition this back into this bag for winter time, but for the fall, the shelter kit that I have right now I think would serve you pretty well and give you some comfort. You can even use all these items in your vehicle if you're just stranded in your vehicle. But it's nice to have a lot of different options. Like I said, they make really good quality gear. The last large item that's in my main pack is just a nice size folding saw. I went with the Corona. It's pretty large, and it has that recurved blade. There are smaller options. There are fancier ones. I like this because I can use it to cut a tree limb that's on the road, get it out of my way. So it works well for a vehicle emergency kit, even though it's a little bit larger. It really doesn't weigh that much, and I've used it, as you can see. It works really well, especially on large branches and tree limbs. And then the rest of the stuff I have in here, I have just a few minimal food items. I kind of always keep granola bars and stuff in my truck anyway. Just have some ramen noodles and some coffee packs in here that go with my little water boil kit. This zipper compartment actually has two zips, so you can get to it from either side. I just have some hygiene items in here, some flushable wipes, and some hot hands to keep warm, a few bags. One thing I think I would like to add to this kit, especially if you were in more of an urban environment or you didn't want your fire to be seen right away, I think I'm going to get a small rocket stove like we use for our family emergency kit. They're really light and small. You can get the small gas canisters. If I have room in here, I think I would like to do that. So I have at least two options for boiling water and keeping warm in a small environment. But this is all the contents of my bag. I'd say with all this loaded in here, it probably weighs 30 pounds or less. It's, like I said, comfortable to carry on your back. Eventually I'd like to go to maybe a smaller system, maybe something that's more discreet than this, but the wolf gray isn't too noticeable and it kind of blends in. And if you had your poncho or your rain jacket on over, you wouldn't be seen anyway. I have some other options in my truck. One is a folding cart that gives me the option to carry a lot of this gear in the cart if I'm going to be walking some distance, especially on a paved road, even through light terrain, so that it gives my back a break. It would allow me to carry a little bit of extra gear, especially with some extra winter gear if I need to bring it along and I have to ditch my vehicle. I just like having different options. But let me pause the video again, and I'll take you to the other side of my work truck so we can see some additional emergency gear. Okay, I brought you to the other side of my work truck. I have a full video on some of the roadside emergency gear that I keep in here, along with tools that I use every day. I'll link that video so you guys can check it out. I'll probably have to do an update on that because I've changed a few things around. But what I want to show you is this MOLLE panel that rides on my passenger seat. I think this is from 511. I don't know if they make it anymore. And I just have it clipped on here with two S-beaners so I can quickly grab it. But it rides on the back here and it's not too noticeable. One of the most important items that I have on here is my trauma kit. This is the VanQuest, I forget what they call this organizer, but it's a fat pack, I think, and it's made just for trauma kits. On the outside of it, I have the Spyderco rescue knife. Once again, I have it labeled as red. On the inside, this allows you to organize your gear. Let's see if I can get it. Might have to switch hands. One of the main components is this RATS tourniquet. I don't know if they still make these. They might still be available on Amazon. They're a small option that fits inside of here. There are also loops on the side that allow you to carry a tourniquet, but I like that this one stays in here. I just have some dressings in here, large gauze pads. I do have a small pack of Quick Clot, nitrile gloves, a red Sharpie. Try to keep everything color coordinated in here so that it's easy to see, and I know that it goes back in here. I like this pouch for the size of it. It organizes well. You can quickly access it. And I also have it clipped on here with, I think these are Blackhawk MOLLE sticks, and you can quickly pull those out and grab this pouch to take it if you needed to go help somebody else, if there was an emergency on the side of the road. And then I also keep, you've seen this already, the Leatherman Raptor trauma shears and rescue tool. I keep this within reach of the driver's seat because this is primary self-rescue tool if I had to get out of my vehicle. It has the glass breaker, seatbelt cutter, and many other tools. And then over next to that, I have the Olight. This is the Javelot. This is their newest one. This is, to me, the perfect truck light. It has a 540 meter throwing distance, I think. Nice size. You can stick it in your pocket. Works as a tactical light. And yeah, just really good value. I love this Olight stuff. And it has a nice carrying sheath that clips on here. Once again, easily reached from the driver's seat. I have one last thing on here. This is a backup fixed blade. I couldn't really decide where to keep this. I really like this knife. It's from LAPG. It was like 14 bucks. And I made a nice, you can see it there, Kydex sheath with a Blade Tech lock to keep it on here. This thing is super beefy for the size. And I've used it to baton stuff. Just a nice backup blade. And then I just have some glow sticks on the outside here, shoved in the MOLLE loops, as well as some of these VanQuest, what do you call them? They're like MOLLE locks, and you can put different items in here. You could even put this on the side of your pack if you wanted to carry, you know, something long and skinny. But as you can see, I have a lot of other emergency gear in here. Maybe I'll make another update video so you guys can see what I carry for more mundane emergencies, more like roadside stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Stay tuned and we'll post another one.